Does anyone want to see it again? They've got the
Yeah.
rematch clause in September. Do we want to see it? Do you want to see it again?
I want to see it, but with no. The only reason I want to see it, yeah, is for the shithousery. Yeah, I want to see Chris fucking whatever they done to Chris in this fight. I want Chris to do to them. So no rehydration clause, bigger ring, more money. And then we will see Ben get fucking flatlined. In my opinion,
here's the problem with that, Tooth, because Eddie Hearn did an interview. And he was like, basically, because obviously the rematch clause is in place. Basically, he wants Chris to come in at 157 to make it more even.
Listen,
imagine this guy. Imagine this scumbag.
Eddie Hearn's a dickhead.
That he wanted him to come in at 157 to make it more even, bro.
Bro, he doesn't. Bro, listen, let me tell you this. Yeah, Eddie Hearn seems to be forgetting, bro. Turkey Al Milkshake runs the fucking game. You know what I mean?
Spartans! What is your profession?
Yes, people, another edition of Knightz Roundtable Discussions where we discuss all sports all the time. Got my guys ST and Tooth in the building. How we doing, people?
All good, man.
All good, brother. Hey, man, I don't think we've had a quicker turnaround than this since the pod began.
The work rate. Work rate, yeah?
Bro, listen,
TJ is rinsing the advertising capital, bro.
Bro, you got to get it in there. Got to get in there. Obviously, appreciation of the Bandem are available because availability is one of the main things as well. But now we had to get this out there because everyone else has already been on it and whatnot. And it's like, yeah, listen. At the end of the day, the fights happen now, and obviously we've got fights to preview as well. So we've got to get that quick turnaround in. But people, yes, I told you we'd be back. We are back. We're going to review the events that transpired over the weekend. Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn. We're talking about what happened, how it happened, why it happened, what surprises happened, and what happens for these two in the future. And also, we will be previewing the big fight card that nobody sees. There's been no advertising in the UK for the fight. That's going to be the fights that are going to happen in the weekend, which I find criminal.
No, but there was someone on the zone. Yeah, there was the one on the zone. Yeah, they did like a face-off between this fight you're talking about is Garcia versus Romero, bro. Yeah. All I'm saying is watch it. Yeah, Rody is what we call special.
We're gonna get into it. Don't worry, we're gonna get into that because that's two boys right there. So we're definitely
both of them, bro. Not just both of them on my day ones, bro. You man don't understand, bro. You could go back and check the receipts on this poddy, bro. You get me? But yeah, bro, we'll kick off with Eubank and Ben.
Of course. But people, as usual, before we start, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscriptions up. On the say all the time, share. We are here, and don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. People, Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn happened on the weekend. If you don't know, now you know. What a fight it was. To be fair, people, I mean, first of all, I have to put a little apology out there because obviously in the preview, I was saying, yeah, this is a Channel 5 fight. That he should be on there with Harlem Eubank and all the rest of it. And it should be free and whatnot. But it didn't disappoint. As like we're not going to be saying it's a Money Mayweather masterclass where it was all technical and it was all about boxing IQ. But in terms of general warfare, just putting your body on the line and going for it, trying to defend the legacy of their dad's names, you have to respect what these two men did. In the end, it finished a unanimous decision, 116-112 on the scorecards. We're going to talk about that as well because a lot of people some people agree with it, but a lot of people think that it's wrong. Just a side note, I did call Eubank on point, Eubank Jr. in points, and that's what happened. He did win on points, but ST, I'm going to come to you first. Obviously, there's a lot to unpack from this fight. But in terms of the fight as a spectacle, as we said, it wasn't really technical. It was blood, guts, and thunder. A couple of the stuff that we said did happen. Conor Benn did come out early. He came out swinging early. Eubank Jr. did use his size throughout the fight as well. And I think something that I said, Conor Benn at the end was shattered, but still had enough to keep going for the 12 rounds. But just from your perspective.
I wonder why that was, bro. Sorry.
Well,
thinking out loud.
Hey, listen. Yeah. Well, as far as they're saying, he's clean now. But hey, I'm not gonna divulge too much into that. But ST, just from your perspective, obviously 116, 112 on the cards. How did you score the fight? How did you see the fight? And did it meet up to your expectations?
Well, first of all, originally, as I said in the group, I scored it a draw. I went back the other day because the highlights were quickly. Yeah, I think, you know what? You might think I'm crazy, yeah? And I tried to watch it without commentary. 8-4 is not mad. So 7-5 is what I scored it after.
That's why I had it originally.
Yeah, that's what you had. Yeah. So, but 8-4 I can understand it with it. There was a lot of shots that Ben wasn't landing at certain times. And I realized that Eubank was landing a lot inside. It's just that Ben, for the most part, took it well. The fight kind of went the way we kind of expected it, if I'm being very honest, barring that Ben stayed longer than I thought he would personally. I thought Eubank would hurt him more, but I'm guessing obviously the weight did play a factor into the situation. I thought Eubank for the
weight
first
cut.
Weight cut, yeah. He used his jab relatively well in the first few instances and was winning rounds. But then when it turned into a swinger, all technique went out the window. You could see that Eubank leaning on Ben a lot, so showing that he was a stronger man. Ben was obviously quicker with his footwork coming in and out, but yeah, defensively Ben wasn't great. Neither was Eubank, to be fair.
Yeah, bro, there was no defense.
Bro, it was
there was no shoulder rolls. There was no Philly shell. No nothing, bro.
But bro, it was a great fight. The right man won. The entrance music was great. Both of them, like you senior coming. Oh, listen, we got too much to unpack, man. I enjoyed the spectacle. It was worth it. That's what I'm gonna say. And great fight.
It was worth it. And just from your perspective, because you didn't even say anything in the group about what you thought, how you saw the fight.
What you
thought happened.
So much
but
going
yeah,
on
bro,
that night,
tell us, bro.
Copa del Rey was on, and
oh yes,
oh yeah.
Trust. I was just invested in everything that was going on that night. But bro, listen, man. The Eubank performance, right? Bruv, like I take my hat off to my respect for this guy has just increased tenfold, bruv. And the main reason for that being is like, bro, he went into that fight with no legs. Like I put in the group, when one of our boys was, backing Conor Benn and talking about the mixed weight.
Cooking with Rash, bro.
Why is he, bro?
Bro, listen.
Why?
Bro, listen. It's look. Some of these people think it's WWE, bro. Do you know what I mean? But try cutting 20 pounds, 10 kg in 5 days, yeah, and then walking straight into a fight. Not even rehydrated, just walking straight into a fight. Bro, and it reflected in the fight. The first few rounds and the last few rounds, bro, Eubank had no legs, bro. He had no legs. It took him a minute to warm up. And then once he got warmed up, he had a short window of time before he burnt out again because he had nothing. Bro, he just went into that fight with nothing but heart, bro. And you can see, bro. And he took all of Ben's best shots, which were few and far between, bro. A lot of these shots were hitting shoulders and gloves and forearms. And it looked, bro, it's one of them fights, yeah, where Eubank was a fucking sitting duck, bro.
Yeah.
Eubank was a sitting duck, bro, especially with that weight cut and that rehydration clause. And Ben went in there, hitting with his best shit. Most of it headbutts, might I add, right? Because, bro, that cut that was above the eye, and that swelling by the cheek, all headbutts, bro. Yeah. You could even hear it, bro. You heard the sound of bone on bone, bro. Do you know what I mean? Bro, I do kickboxing, Muay Thai. When someone's shin hits someone else's shin, it's the same sound. It's just two fucking strong structures that hit again. It's a different sound from a hand in a glove hitting the face, bro. So yeah, bruv, Eubank just slugged it out, bruv. And in the words of his dad, bruv, Rastafari, bruv. You get what I mean? Straight up. You must be mad. Yeah. Because, bro, I know you're gonna get into this, TJ, bro.
Yeah.
But all that shit that Eddie was talking about after the fight, bro. All this glazing. I'm thinking to myself, bro. Ben went in there with every fucking advantage you can list under the sun.
The ring,
the gloves, even trying to pull that shit with Billy Joe, get your fat ass in a fucking sauna, bro.
Scruff. You see, Napa was like, "You're not coming in. I guarantee it, bro."
Bro,
Man
I'm not
was
sure
lucky,
if you caught the
Napa
audio,
didn't start spitting bars, bro. Oh,
bro,
crack your skull.
Did you catch the audio of that? Yeah, where
you
where
called him
he was like,
Rubberlips.
and Big Nose. I was
Big
like,
Nose. I said, yeah, what? I said, right.
But you know these men on the Resismo thing, bruv. You know them man on the Resismo thing, bruv. You know that.
Bro, just to wrap up my point, yeah, like I was saying, bruv, you gave this guy every fucking advantage under the sun, yeah, and you still lost, bruv. There was nothing more gratifying than that, bro. Even the weight, bro. I know a lot of people didn't clock. Like, a lot of people talk about him missing weight, bruv. There was some suspect shit going on at the weigh-ins, bruv, yeah, where the scales were like not calibrated properly. Like, we won't get into that, bruv. We'll let the man them do their own homework, make their own decision out of what they believe in that. But, bro, again, coming from combat sports background, that shit should not be happening. Like, there's no way on the day of the weigh-in you're trying to fucking calibrate the scales. That does not happen, bro. That does not happen, bro. And then the glove situation where it was similar to like Maidana and Mayweather and all of that sort of like, you know, we decided on this sort of, bro, whatever it was, they were just trying to fuck with Chris as much as they could, bro. And I love like ST said, I love the fact that in the end, he walked out with his dad, because that was the biggest fuck you to everyone,
bro. Like, listen. Because obviously, Tooth saw it first, said it in the group chat, and that no way, I said it out loud, bro. Because I was like, what? And then you sent the picture, bro. The gasman on that, bro. Like, they literally did WWE settings telling the storyline. I ain't timing up. Now, don't get me wrong. There are reports out there saying that this was literally lastminute.com. It wasn't apparently it wasn't a setup. Apparently it was lastminute.com. Couple people had to speak to him and make senior see reason and what was actually going on and what was happening, and that's how he turned up. But
I ain't buying it, bro.
You don't want to hear that.
I think it was all set up.
WWE story.
I reckon it was set up.
I hate him.
I think it was. I'll tell you what I think it was set up, bro. Because, like, you're a boxing, like, historian, bruv, yeah? When Eubank fought the Irish dude, Collins, yeah?
Yeah.
Steve Collins, yeah.
That dude done some... Bro, this guy done some juju, bruv. He pretended like he had...
he wasn't even looking at him. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. Bro, they made a fucking documentary about it.
Yeah, I've watched the documentary.
You know what I mean? Yeah, trust me, bruv. So those that know. So I think Eubank, yeah, and of course him being the sort of very theatrical, eccentric guy that he is, yeah, he just took that out of his archives. He was like, bruv, you know what? We're going to make the whole world think this, but on fight night, bruv, this is what we're going to do. And I think if it was planned, bro, it is a masterclass, bruv. That was a fucking masterclass.
And on the weight, sorry, I was just going to say on the weight because this is amazing, yeah. Chris, I've met Eubank before. Eubank is about my height, so he's 6 foot, very tall. For him to lose that amount of weight, because I'm about 180 right now, 185 right now, so that's around, you'll say that's normal height, I'm quite average for that. It's a lot to lose weight for a middleweight, and to drain in that middleweight is tough. So the fact that he did that, you don't understand the fact that he did that, yeah, and especially how many years he's been out as well, all these advantages.
Yeah.
This with the father.
People don't understand, bro. They don't understand.
Bro, and I'm so happy for him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, bro. They don't get, like, he walked in there a fucking corpse, as TJ would say. He walked in there a corpse, bro.
He did, but the counterbalance to that is that he has been, his last couple of fights have been at middleweight. He's been at middleweight since, I think they said, since 2019, I think it was, or something like that. Because obviously he went up to super middle. He went up to super middle and then came back down, and that's what people were saying. People were saying, but the argument then is that he wasn't strong enough to be a super middleweight because he wasn't really knocking people out at middleweight, which is why he had to go back down. So people will say, well, why is there a big deal about the weight cut? Because he's been boxing at middleweight for X amount of time.
It's the hydration clause, bro.
But the rehydration clause is the caveat to that. But then you'll have people that will say he agreed to it. He didn't need to. He could have went about it another way, which is why they had to pay him all the money. So I just wanted to put that out there because you'll have people saying, "Oh, you lot all biased, blah blah." We understand the other side to that argument, but just back to Senior, bruv, because in that I agree with Tooth.
Rastafari, bro. I'm telling you.
I think that was planned. Make everyone think that we're not talking, they hate us, blah blah. Make Conor and Eddie Hearn run with this narrative. Make them think that it's not gonna happen. Make them think that he hasn't got his dad doesn't care about him, blah blah blah. To then obviously see the doors of the Rolls Royce open, and then he just comes out like the only.
Did you see him and Ben? Did you see Ben when they were looking?
Yeah, when they were watching.
I was like, bro,
because from it's that moment, you know, when it's like from that moment on, he knew he fucked up. That's exactly how Conor Benn was feeling right there and then, bro, because he knew when Senior turned up that Chris was gonna. I said it to Tooth in the group chat. I was worried, but seeing Senior there just made me think, this guy's gonna win this, bro. It's gonna come full circle. He's gonna do it. And I said the only thing that would have made that thing better is if Jim Ross and Jerry the King Lawler were commentating at the time, bro. That would have made it the best thing ever because that's what it felt like. It felt like a WWE storyline. But I'm happy that he was there to obviously make this come full circle. So obviously Nigel Benn and Eubank obviously having the fight 35 years later, their two sons coming out, both, bro, man came out, man was in the change room, the swag, obviously the charisma that his dad has. Like, man's there doing the posh dance to
Still Dre. Still Dre. He's a bad man.
Only he could do that and make it look gangster, though. Only he could do that and make it look gangster. And look, I don't want to make it all about Senior, but I think just taking boxing out of it, the man was there for his son when those criminals tried to do everything to write him off, tried to do everything to stop him from achieving what he was sent out there to do. As you said, the weight cut, the gloves, they're obviously making the ring smaller, trying to upset him by trying to send Billy Goats Gruff in to watch his hand wraps. They tried every single, obviously taking 375 grand from the man for missing weight for the size of a battery. Do you know what I mean? They obviously Tooth going into the scales and whatnot. There was something about the time as well, saying that they tried to say that Eubank Jr. got the times wrong. Eubank Jr. said no, they tried to rush me. They were rushing me. So you get all these factors in, and the fact that we'll get to Conor Benn, and don't be wrong, I've got a dislike for Conor Benn, but I think even more so was to see Eddie Hearn have to eat his own words, bruv, and the way how Chris has dominated Eddie Hearn and Matchroom from the beginning in the press conferences, and then to go into this fight. Obviously, people will say he had the advantage when he had all the disadvantages and come out and still get the W, bro. Massive respect to him and massive respect to sticking his finger up to Eddie Hearn. And I heard Eddie Hearn apparently got out of the bet with Ben Shalom and Chris Eubank Jr. because apparently it's not ethical and they could get fined and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. But ST, we have to give a little bit of credit to Conor Benn. And the reason why I say that is because whether we like it or not, I don't say two weight classes, I say one, because his last two fights have been at 154, even though he's a 147 fighter. But he's gone in there with the bigger man, and he didn't look out of place. Let's say that. He didn't look out of place. He also hurt Eubank in the third. We all saw it. Legs went. And he hurt him in the 10th, held his ground, went 12 rounds on the biggest night of his career when he's only probably had, not even British level, English level fights.
I'll say British level. I'd say British/European, if I'm being honest.
All right, cool. Fair enough.
Yeah,
so, to be fair to him, he was the other person in this fight, and he's the other person that gave us a brilliant fight to watch. So I think there has, like, we know our dislike for him is because of the drugs and the way how he's carried himself throughout the fight and the way how he's been speaking has hurt a lot of people. But I think, don't get me wrong, I'm not joining this narrative that Eddie Hearn is trying to put out, that no one else is putting out, that he's the people's champion. He isn't. Everyone still hates him. But I think there's a level of respect that's built up for him for the way he went about this fight.
Yeah, you know what? I'll say this, yeah. For someone who hasn't been punched by a 160 pounder, for someone who you'd expect would bottle the fight, he didn't. That's one thing I would say. You never at that level, it's easy to freeze. So, for example, Chris Eubank Jr. freeze when he fought Billy Joe Saunders.
Mm-hmm.
He froze when he fought. And George Groves, yeah. Ben didn't freeze. So mentally, that will help him get. He knows that if it's a big fight, he knows he's not gonna freeze. He's gonna at least fight. If someone's to beat him, they have to beat him. So I have to give him credit. One thing I want to give him a couple of credit for a few rounds. His movement was really good. I did like that. He was evading punches pretty well. I liked his in and out movement. It wasn't technical, but he was doing the basics at the time. He put all his punches together when he needed to. When he connected with Eubank, I would say that. You have to give him credit as well, like heart as well. Like, I'll be honest, that guy has got a lot of heart. That's one thing you'll say. He's an actual fighter. He's a natural fighter. I'm gonna give him credit, but yeah.
No love. Hey,
go on, T.
No love from me, bruv. No credit.
No. Look, we understand obviously the whole drugs thing. We completely get that, and the fact that he comes across as a wanker. We completely understand that. The reason why I give him a little bit of credit and respect is that, don't get me wrong. Obviously, we know that Chris Eubank Jr. is at the end of his career. Obviously, everything that was in Conor's advantage. I think the reason why I give him that little bit of credit, that little bit of respect, is the type of fight that they gave us. Obviously, nothing technical, but it was a slugfest. It was a war fest. And
yeah, but
again,
bro,
as ST said, he's never been hit by a 160 pounder before.
But so that's I'll put that down to Chris making him look good. I don't put that down to him being good. I'll put that down to Chris.
We're not saying he's good. We're not saying he's good.
I'm saying his performance, or like, you know, giving him credit for his performance on that night, bro. I'm saying Chris made him look good, bro. It was one of them fights, bro. Chris made him look good. Other than Ben, like that's my opinion, bro. Like I said, Chris went in there with no legs, bro. Completely drained. Yeah, smaller ring. Bro, we know Chris, bruv, yeah? We've seen his entire career, bruv. After round 6, yeah?
Yeah.
He beat he beat the fucking brakes off Billy Joe and George Groves.
Yeah.
You're telling me if this was a fully rehydrated Chris, bro, get the fuck out of here with that, bro. Ben would have been done, bro. Ben would have been finished. So all this talk about, oh yeah, he took shots from a 160 pounder. Bro, that wasn't a 160 pounder, bruv, with that rehydration clause in there. That was not a 160 pounder, bruv. And we saw even towards the end of the fight, yeah. ST, I wanted to mention these points. You said early in the fight, what was it, round 3? It looked like Chris got hurt, and late in the fight, it looked like Chris got hurt.
Round 10,
he wasn't hurt, bruv. That was all rehydration, bro. Even the punches that connected weren't really doing much to Chris. It was the headbutt, bruv. It was the headbutts, that I should say, that really done the damage on Chris, bro. And he even complained to the ref. He said, look, bro, he's just cut my eyebrow in a bad place as well. So I'm not just being a contrarian here for the views or any of that shit. I just strongly believe, I really do, that it was one of them fights where all the credit that Ben is getting was from Chris making him look good due to all this. And bro, we discussed this in the preview as well. Bro, my man is 8 years older than him as well. And you've got a rehydration clause in there. And you literally fucked him over with the ring size, the gloves, the scales, the X, the weight, the what, like, bro, you get no credit. The only credit you get is for not failing another fucking drug test, bro. Which which I have not heard a single thing about for this fight, bro.
Yeah. And this
you know what I mean? Was there even any drug testing in place? Was there hush money under the table? Like,
well, we can't speak about hush money. Obviously, I think from what I saw in a couple of reports, yes, there was drug testing for this fight, and it came back positive. I think on the drug testing, because I was watching TalkSport and Simon Jordan basically talking about the whole drugs testing thing, and I think the issue that people have is with the likes of Tyson Fury and Canelo Alvarez and Dillian White, all these guys, just to name a few, all these guys are getting popped. There was some form of explanation from the fighters as to why this happened. Till this day, we have not had a single explanation
at all
from Eddie Hearn or Conor Benn as to why this happened and what was the cause of it. As we've established, the X thing was brought out by the WBC president. So none of the two of them have come out, and that's the thing that pisses people off more than anything else. If you can, even if you came out and said, even if Conor was the one that came out and said the whole thing about the X, you can either believe it or you don't, but you've had an explanation. Till this day, we haven't had them, and this is why I understand where Tuvi's coming from. We're not heard anything in 2 years. You could talk about obviously, and we understand how the boxing game works, and Tooth definitely for sure will know that there could have been a silent ban, which the casual won't be aware of. There could have been a silent ban. It's like, all right, cool, we're going to ban you for X amount of time. You can't do anything. But obviously, so for that to happen, we're not going to say any reason as to why you were banned. No one's going to know about it. Here's the NDA, and that's going to be enough said, which is probably what happened. Tooth, am I right in saying that? Is that a big possibility?
Yeah, bro. A lot of athletes have had that, bro. And it's look, man. For anyone that really wants to get into it, bro, I say don't listen to these guys on the radio, bro. Like, bro, you can actually go on VADA or USADA websites and read their rules and their regulation, bro. You will be confused by the end of it. By the end of it, what you will like. This is what I took away from it was, bro, you can cheat as long as you don't get caught.
Yeah.
But pretty much. That's what you take away from it. There's certain days they tell you they're coming. There's certain time frame. There's certain leniencies you get. So if you miss these days, it's fine. You can't go up to 3 days without missing it. And even then, they can't release it. There's so much consent and confidentiality involved. Bro, you could to not take performance-enhancing drugs in this day and age is actually suicidal. Do you know what I mean? Like, the amount of athletes that are on shit like this. And also there's shit like therapeutic exemption uses, bruv, which means, like, look, as long as you get a prescription for your doctor, this is why that British doctor, the guy with a proper, like, Muzzy name, like one of my people, bruv, this is why he got suspended and shit. Like, he was notoriously AJ's doctor. He was a doctor for a lot of these athletes. Like, yeah, it's all out there, bro. I'm not pulling this shit out my backside, bro. It's all out there. He got suspended, but a lot of this shit is kept D-low, bro. It's kept D-low because you can't, bro. You can't. If it was exposed to that level, there'll be no fucking athletes left. Do you get what I mean?
It's true. And obviously with the exposure, because obviously in the 70s and 80s, these guys probably were juiced to the gills, but obviously there wasn't all this testing and stuff like that. Whereas now, because it's so rigorous and whatnot, you got to find ways around it. So it's completely true, but we're not going to focus on the drugs.
No, we won't. We digress.
Yeah, we digress. But just a question for the two of you. Does anyone want to see it again? They've got the rematch clause in September. Yeah. Do we want to see it? Do you want to see it again?
I want to see it, but with no. The only reason I want to see it, is for the shithousery. Yeah, I want to see Chris fucking whatever they done to Chris in this fight. I want Chris to do to them. So no rehydration clause, bigger ring, more money. And then we will see Ben get fucking flatlined. In my opinion,
here's the problem with that, Tooth, because Eddie Hearn did an interview. And he was like, basically, because obviously the rematch clause is in place. Basically, he wants Chris to come in at 157 to make it more even.
Listen,
imagine this guy. Imagine this scumbag.
Eddie Hearn's a dickhead.
That he wanted him to come in at 157 to make it more even, bro.
Bro, he doesn't. Bro, listen, let me tell you this. Yeah, Eddie Hearn seems to be forgetting, bro. Turkey Al Milkshake runs the fucking game. I mean, like, Eddie Hearn is one of them fucking cellmates. Do you know what I mean? That is hanging on to the pockets of Turkey Owl milkshake.
Teabag, bro. Teabag.
Yeah, but Teabag, yeah, bro. He's Teabag, bro.
Yeah.
He's not Teabag. Turkey Owl milkshake is Teabag. Eddie Hearn is bro. Eddie Hearn is the extra, bro. Do you know what I mean? The extra that is holding the fucking pockets, bro. That's what Eddie Hearn is now, bro. Eddie Hearn has no fucking say no more,
Turkey
bro.
Shake is Teabag and Eddie Hearn is Schofield,
you,
bro.
I'm telling you, bro. They could come get me, bro. I don't give a fuck, bro. But that's what it is. And he knows it, bro. He is the new Don King of boxing. Hands fucking down. He is Don King of boxing now. I watched Hamza Shiraz get his ass whooped for 12 fucking rounds. Yeah.
And he got a decision.
And he got a decision.
And I know you saw it, bruv. It was milkshake mingling with the fucking judges in that, bruv. So how are you telling me this is not the new Don King, bruv? Listen, Eddie Hearn needs to get into snooker, into raffle night, into bingo night. Like, that's his lane now. It's done for him. It's a wrap. He had the boxing world at his fingertips. It's gone, bruv. It's no more, bruv. You got barely any fighters left. And you're trying to milk the fucking bandwagon that Ben is on, right? So you saying, oh, Conor Benn needs to come in at 137. Fuck 160, fuck 150. Like, you need to come in at one. Bro, he could talk as much shit as he likes, bro. It's just, he knows his word in the world of boxing means nothing no more. It holds no fucking weight. You don't have the champions like you did in the past. You don't have the AJs or the Katie Taylors or whoever the fuck you have. You don't have these guys anymore, bro. They're all gone. They all left you. And they're all, and they're all breaking bread with milkshake, bro. They're all breaking bread with him, bro. They're not going to the middleman no more, bro. They're going to the Don, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
I hear it. ST, do you want to see it again? Because me personally, I don't.
I don't. But for the simple fact is, it was one of them fights. He got what he deserved. Eubank got what he deserved. It was all they've done what they had to do. I don't want Ben getting another payday. Go back to 147. Boots is there. He will finish.
But Boots beats him, bruv. Like, but bro,
that's what I'm saying.
Most of these guys in 147 beat him, but they're going for Barrios.
Barrios is dead. I can't
smoking. Barrios.
I don't think so, bro. I don't think so.
Bro, Barrios has been in there with some world-class fighters, bro.
Yeah, Javonte Davis, all them, man. Yeah, he's been in there.
Bro. And bro, he's got an bro. It's not like he's some scrub, bro. It's not like he's some bum, bro. Barrios has been about for a minute, bro. I think he could fucking school. Bro, Conor Benn is nothing special, bro. It's just
broad. No, I agree.
I agree. What I mean, bro?
But Brian Norman will beat him. Brian Norman is decent.
Norman, even Norman will beat him as well, bro.
Yeah, Norman will beat him.
Yeah, there's a lot of Conor Benn hate on my end, bro. But I'm telling you, I think a lot of these guys will piece him up.
But I know, bro. Listen, I know this already. Like, the card that we're gonna speak about, all them fighters on there beat him. All of them beat him. And this is my point, because I'm hearing people say, yeah, he's proved he's world level. Bro, this was and don't get me wrong, I was championing Chris Eubank Jr., but this is a Chris Eubank Jr. that is past it, was drained, everything that you lot have said, but it's past it is the main thing, bruv. And he couldn't, and I know obviously it's going up to us, but he couldn't beat him. And we're not even, let's take the weight class and the size out of it. I know we can't because it's difficult, but bro, from a technical standpoint, these guys at 147 eat him alive, because they can do what they want. Yes, don't get me wrong. You can clearly see that with Conor Benn's aggression, he does hit. He hits hard. Like, we can't deny that he hits hard. But what we've seen, yes, I think Tooth was right in the round 10 in terms of the headbutts and stuff that did hurt Chris McNeil the second time. The first time, the third round, that punch definitely hit him because he caught him with a 1-2 and then a left hook. That definitely hurt Eubank Jr. in the third. But you can see that if you box smart, because the jab was killing him all the time. So if you box smart against Conor Benn, slip the punches, avoid it, make him miss, it's light work for the rest of these guys. And even for someone like Ryan Garcia takes him out. I don't even rate Garcia like that. I don't even rate him like that.
Ryan Garcia's left hook is one of the
all day
he
long.
Will land it.
I think the majority of these guys are like, I hate this vitriol of, oh yeah, he's proven he's world level, blah blah blah. Like, yes, Barrios is the target. We understand that, and that obviously two says he can't. Barrios will beat him. ST saying that he probably can beat Barrios. So that's where it is. But any of these other guys, any of the top guys, he's not beating them. But I'm 100. I agree with you, ST. I think he needs to go back to 147. Fight some of these guys, get beat, and then you're not proving anything to anyone. You're proving that you are a British level fighter. But I think from Chris Eubank Jr.'s perspective, I'm being honest, I think it's retirement time. I think it's retirement time after that fight. The way how I know, obviously, some of the headbutts contributed to it, but bro, because
they're talking about Canelo.
No,
bro.
it's
What
not
are you talking
happen,
about
bro.
retirement?
It's not gonna happen.
He won't be fighting Canelo because Canelo's got William Skull and he's got Crawford.
Bro, he's not fighting Canelo, bro. He's not fighting Canelo. And my whole thing is he can't do 160 no more, so he needs to go up to 168. Now, ST, you can tell me who's at 168 right now because I don't actually know who's up there at this moment in time.
Canelo, Caleb Plant, William Skull, Christian Mbili.
None of these, man. Other than Caleb, bro.
It's not a great division right now.
Yeah,
because
but even
all of them have moved up to like 175 because Benavidez was there. Or Andrade's still there. Well, I don't know if Andrade will go back to 160. And you know what? If I was Chris Eubank Jr., if he still can make 160, he'd have to face someone. Actually, no, but even then, you got Janabek at 160. You got Adames at 160. These guys, I think, at the moment will beat Chris Eubank Jr. He's in a very tough spot.
Which is why I said retirement is the best option, bro.
You know, I hope, one day, that Billy Goat Scruff, whatever you like to call it. Bro, I want him to fight.
So that is the elephant in the room. Is there enough demand for him versus Billy Goat Scruff? Now, for me personally, I just want him to beat him. I just want Eubank Jr. to beat him. So, yes, I know the demand isn't there, but if he said, this is going to be my retirement fight, I'm here for it. All because I just can't stand him. I just can't.
He'd wipe the floor with Billy Joe getting your fat ass in a sauna, bro. But he would.
He's fat.
Bro, I can't believe this guy. This guy fought because he's a boxer.
This guy talked about Dubois quitting. He talked about Kell Brook quitting. He took one punch on the cheek. Yeah, bro. He took one punch on the cheek from Canelo. Looked at his corner for a way out, bro. Eubank will fuck him up, bro. It's not even a question.
Because Eubank Jr. really let me down on that fight because I honestly thought he was going to win and he should have won had he listened to his dad and did what he did in the first 6 rounds in the second half of the fight. Yeah. But he froze under.
With Billy Joe as well, yeah. This is why he's dumb, yeah. Billy Joe is actually really skillful. It's just that he doesn't. But his skillfulness needs to be him being fit and healthy to box. But he's always out of shape.
And obviously, he got popped as well. He's another one that got popped.
Oh
for Ped. So it's mad. It's mad. But listen, let's wrap this up here. We had a great spectacle of a fight. It lived up to the hype, maybe not in the way that we see boxing because we are boxing purists, but in terms of a slugfest, it met our expectations. That round 11 and that round 12, mate. Nuts. That round 11, just both of them going toe-to-toe, thoroughly enjoyed that fight. And I think boxing won, but more importantly, Chris Eubank Jr. won. And that was the most important thing, because I think it would have been a sorry day if Conor Benn would have won that fight after everything that's transpired and after the way how Eddie Hearn and Matchroom have all carried on in trying to bully Eubank Jr., trying to bully Ben Shalom. I know Tooth isn't a Ben Shalom fan, but I can't. I can't.
Another poddy for that one, bro.
I know, bro. Listen, I can't.
Well, that one has to be on
Bro,
Patreon.
listen, I've already gone for milkshake in this poddy. We'll say Ben Shalom for another one.
Dude. But yeah, and I think that I'm just grateful that Eubank Jr. won, Conor Benn lost, the Eubanks are still undefeated against the Benns, and the fact that we had what's the word I'm looking for? Eubank Jr. and Eubank Senior reunite once again and came out victorious.
Rastafari.
Rusty, exact.
Rastafari.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. Listen, bro, just before we move
legendary.
on. Yeah. From one Rastafari to another, bro. What happened to your boy Yard, bro?
Oh, this guy.
Did he lose?
No, he won.
Place, bro.
He won, but you know what it is? Lyndon Arthur was using his jab.
Yeah, but like the first fight. So the first fight,
it was like
Arthur
the first fight.
jabbed the hell out of him and then won it. And then Yard, bro, it's the inactivity, and I think his head's not completely in boxing at the moment. I think obviously
needs to stop. In my opinion, he just needs to stop being Floyd. Like, you're not Floyd, bro.
Yeah.
You've got a bit of power, bro. Yeah. I don't understand why you're not going out there and using your power.
The loss to Bertibiev really affected him, the way how he got stopped in that fight. And I think since then, he's just, obviously there's been stuff obviously outside of boxing that's happened to him. He's had a couple of deaths in the family as well. And he's just not been the same. And I think this Lyndon Arthur fight, as I said, the fight that no one wanted, it was just a stopgap. It was a stopgap because obviously the fight he wants is Buatsi.
If I'm being honest,
who did Buatsi fight? Was it Callum Smith and lost? Was that
Callum Smith? Yeah,
he fought Callum Smith and lost. So the fact that Yard's in this thing where it's like he's won, but no one really rates him, and Buatsi just coming off a defeat, that is the logical next fight that has to happen. It has to happen, that fight. It's a fight that everyone wants to see, and obviously for STNI, obviously it's Jollof versus Rice and Peas. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's like it
and we all know Jollof is nicer than Rice and Peas. It's true. You know, your brown stew chicken, yeah. Your rice and peas is not brown stew chicken for you. I said yes, that's a serious meal.
Well, listen, I just have to interject here, yeah, because when it comes to rice, yeah, none of you man are touching us in bro. Saffron rice, bro. You man don't know, bro.
Yes,
it's nice, but it's not rice and peas, bro. It's not rice and peas.
Tajij is good.
Anyway, we're not doing this food wars, bro. We're not doing this food wars, bro.
Because you won't win.
Oh, this guy, honestly. But yeah, people, listen. That's it. We're gonna wrap this one up for now because we've got to move on to the preview for the next card. But let us know what you think in the comment section. Let us know what you thought about the fight between Chris Eubank, and Conor Benn. Do you think the right man won? Were you as surprised with the scorecards as a lot of other people? Did you have it closer? Did you have a draw, which is what ST had initially? I saw one or two people that had Conor Benn one. Don't ask me what they were watching.
No.
Because that was never the case that happened. What do you think is next for Chris Eubank Jr.? Should he retire? Should it be the rematch? Should he try and get one more fight? The Canelo fight's definitely not going to happen. But should he look for try and get a world title fight? Should he be aiming for that? Conor Benn obviously going back down to 147. Barrios is the target. Do you think that he should be fighting anyone else? Do you think that he is world class? And let us know what you think about obviously senior and junior reuniting. Was that the biggest moment in British boxing ever, just to see those two come back together, a father and son reunite after all the stuff that have gone on outside of boxing? We want to hear from you. And as usual, before we go, make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Get the likes up, get the subscription up, the sale time, share. We are here. And don't forget to join our social media pages as well. Links are in the description. I'm not going to say thank you to these two guys because they're going to be with me for the next one. People, if you got to the end of this, thank you very much. Head over to the next poddy where we'll be previewing a massive weekend of boxing because they're all on the same night. Massive weekend of boxing. But as usual, stay safe, be safe out there, and we shall see you very, very soon. Peace.
Peace.